Season 4 so far has been an up and down roller coaster, to say the least, for our Portland Trailblazers, as today we're going to get through the rest of the calendar year, move into 2027, and have our first prospect profile of the year, which we'll be going over shortly. After starting 1-5 and losing one of our starters, Ochai Agbaji, to a big injury, things seem to be going better, I guess. We've won 4 games in a row. We're over 500 at 13-11, which puts us in 8th place in a very tight Western Conference, where there's seemingly probably 11 or 12 teams who are very much in the race. The East appears to be a lot more top-heavy than last year. The biggest surprise has to be Boston. After making the Kristaps Porzingis trade, they are in last place in the East, which is a shock to me, considering they still have Brown, Tatum, all those guys. As for us, as you can tell, we are pretty banged up. The big story from last episode was how Shaedon Sharpe would perform because he struggled to start the year. Then he suffered a toe injury after we started the year 3-7. He missed 5 games. We went 4-1 in the games that he missed. So he had a lot to prove, and he played really well for the most part. Shaedon needed to prove that it was his team still, and I feel like he did that. I still believe that this team's success most relies on Darius Springer, though. Top 10 in rebounding. He's fallen to 9th. At one point, he was like 3rd. But the big reason why I think he's our most important player is because the splits in wins compared to losses is staggeringly different. In wins, the guy plays like an MVP candidate. No joke. In losses, efficiency-wise, he's a liability out there. He looks like his rookie form. So having this level of inconsistency from him is not ideal, but the fact that we are getting these types of star-level performances from him right before his 22nd birthday is awfully exciting. If he can be more consistent, and I want to see him shoot the ball more because he's been so efficient as of recent, so if he's taking more shots and is more aggressive on offense, look out. He could be scary. Other young guys like Khalil Griffin and Zay Logan have both taken leaps this year. And other guys like Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, those guys have been banged up throughout the season as the injuries continue to be the big storyline this year. But we'll get back to the regular team in a second. Let's shift our attention to the prospect profile. And it is worth noting, we will likely have a somewhat high draft pick this year, being that we have a swap best first rounder with the Miami Heat, who are 11-13. It's a deep play-in race in the East. The Heat currently at the upper hand, although they are 11th in point differential. Obviously, they've got a strong roster. 4 guys above 87 overall. But it only would take one of us or Miami, hopefully them, to be bad in order for us to get a high draft pick. This is a pretty fun group of players, and I'm excited to go over some of the highly projected players, at least as of the start of the season. Obviously, as we know, the board is going to move up and down quite a bit. There is no clear number 1 pick per se, but the consensus favorite right now is Senegalian big man Sidi Ghaffare. He is a unique talent because he can do just about everything on the floor. Look at him defensively here. Knows how to pick his spot. He doesn't just cover his man. He knows how to find the ball as well. And then at the end of the shot clock, boom, comes on the perimeter and gets the block. He can guard every position in the book because he's athletic enough to do it. He's a gifted passer from the post and on the perimeter. He can shoot the ball. He can score inside. At 7'2", 225 pounds, there's really not much he can't do. If he can become a little bit more efficient as an outside scorer and be a little bit more consistent as a shot creator, ouch, this guy might legitimately be unstoppable. Other than Dante Del Toro last year, I think he's probably the best prospect we've had in this series so far. As we look at the guys who could be in contention for the 2nd overall pick, I don't think it's this first group of guards. I think it's these 2 guys, and we'll start with Caleb Marsh, a point guard playing for the Adelaide 36ers in Australia, where he's from. Marsh stands at around 6'7". He's a really impressive athlete who plays above the rim. Physical, tough, and smart. He knows how to pick his spots on and off the ball, and he's a really productive passer. If he can be more consistent as a shot creator as well, again, look out. There are not guys in this class who are better than him at driving to the basket and scoring through contact. He's not a good outside shooter yet. He's really got to improve there, but with his athleticism and his ridiculous intangibles, the sky's the limit for Caleb Marsh. Bryson Franklin is the best American-born prospect in this class right now. Out of the University of Oregon, another super explosive, dynamic athlete at his size. A little bit skinny, though. 6'8", 190. He's got plenty of time to build on his frame. Really good defensive player. Another guy who's great at going inside, driving to the basket, and scoring in the paint. He's a lockdown perimeter defender, but he, again, needs to improve the outside shot. I think his and Marsh's upside really isn't that far off from Gafare's. Let's take a look at these top guards. We'll start with Quillen Scaylor from Louisville. He's a mid-range maestro. Not a great inside scorer, not a great outside scorer, but is gifted, really from around 15 to 25 feet. He's a really good playmaker, and I think defensively, he's good enough as well for sure. If he can be a guy who can score consistently in the paint and score beyond the three-point line, he could be really good. For now, he's an offensive question mark because those are maybe the two most important skills you can have on offense, and he's not particularly good at either of them. Let's take a look at these next two Big East guards. We'll start with Zaylen Moon out of Georgetown. Super talented shot creator. He can score from all three levels of the floor, and he's one of the best passers in this class. Defensively, not so good. He's got a lot of work to do on that end of the floor. But offensively, he checks off pretty much all the boxes. If he can be a little bit more consistent as a three-point shooter, he's going to be a monster on that end of the floor in the NBA. On defense, though, he's a traffic cone. There's no way around it. He's got to get better there, or else that could lead to trouble if the three-point shot does not come around. Aitor Cherachero from St. John's is up next, hailing from Italy. Another gifted shot maker. Look at the way he's able to get open and create space for himself. He does it inside the arc, and he does it beyond the arc as well. I think he's a better defender than his Big East counterpart, Zaylen Moon. He's not as good of a playmaker, though. That's the big difference on offense. But I think he's a better three-point shooter, and he's a better defensive player, which gives him a higher floor. And I think he's a better athlete as well. Xavion Pratt out of the U is next up. The Miami forward is a two-way versatile wing who can guard multiple positions. He's an inconsistent scorer, but we've seen the flashes on that end of the floor. I think he's a really intriguing playmaker. His ability to set up his teammates is pretty rare for someone of his age and his size, and I think that's his most exciting trait entering the league. He's not a great scorer, again, but he knows how to find his teammates. And I think he's going to be a versatile player defensively, really good on the perimeter right now. Doesn't necessarily have the physicality to bang down low, but if he can add some muscle, I think he absolutely could. Let's take a look at one of the top high school prospects in the draft now, Chico Williams from McEachern. There have been a number of players to come from this school recently, most notably Isaac Okoro and Sharif Cooper. Williams is next up on the pipeline, and as of now, he is the top projected high school player in this class. Really solid three-point shooter, really good defensive player, and I think he's got some playmaking upside as well. For a high school guy, you wouldn't think that these would be the high floor players, but that's exactly the case here with Williams, who has the prototypical NBA role player type of skill set, and I think he's really going to excel there. Damari Radcliffe, the Duke big man, I think he's a really fun player. He doesn't necessarily have the outside ability, but he is a elite rim protector. He's a big-time lob threat, and he can score inside. He's got great mobility at his size, even though he doesn't have much of an outside game. Think of the way a guy like Derek Lively has made an impact early in his NBA career despite not really being much of a perimeter presence on either end of the floor. That's the exact skill set that Radcliffe is going to hold entering the next level, and it certainly doesn't hurt that they both went to Duke. Hans Meyer from Germany, I think, is one of the highest floor players in this class. As we've seen with European and international players over the last 5 to 10 years, they seem to be more fundamentally sound than a lot of the American-born prospects, and that's absolutely the truth with Hans Meyer. Really good three-point shooter, really good defender. If nothing else, you can stick him in the corner, and you can trust him to play good defense. I think as a shot creator and a playmaker, he's got more long-term upside, but if nothing else, he's going to be a strong role player in this league for a while. One of my favorite players in this class is Bernard Moonshine, another high school prospect from Alabama. Now, he's got quite the look to him. The mullet, the mustache, the tattoos. He looks like he's straight out of an 80s movie. But don't get it twisted. This kid can play. He may not look the most athletic, but he is a legit NBA athlete. Good defensively, good as a playmaker. I think he needs to improve as a shooter, though, which, when you see guys that look like him, normally it's not the case. But that's what he needs to improve upon. I think he's got shot-making upside. The shots just need to fall. Lorpo McClure is another one of my favorite players in this draft, another high school prospect. This is him in the international circuit this past summer. Monster defensive player. He takes it personally when the other team targets him on that end of the floor. Physical, tough, really smart for a high school player. He's a senior right now at Mater Dei, a school that is famous for pumping out big-time athletes, not just in basketball, but in other sports as well. Shout out the Sun God. He might be the best defensive prospect in the entire draft. He can guard the 1 through the 5 at a super high level. He needs to improve on offense, though. The A-plus three-point grade is flat out wrong. I think he's got good upside as a shooter. A-plus is completely foul. I feel like he's more of a C-plus three-point shooter, which for a high schooler with his defensive ability and his smarts is fine. He's got plenty of time to improve the jumper. The first thing you'll notice when you watch Purdue combo guard Matthias White is the quickness and speed he possesses, especially going to the basket. He puts his head down and he moves like a freight train. I like what he provides on defense as well, and look at him quickly run the floor faster than anybody on the court. He's able to pick his spots off the ball, knocks down the corner three. I like what he's able to provide as a playmaker on and off the ball, and I think he's a really good three-point shooter. The rest of his offensive game is a little bit inconsistent. For somebody who can get to the basket so quickly, I wish he was a little bit more efficient in the paint and could score through contact. Nonetheless, he's got a three-point jumper, he's a good defender, and he's a good playmaker, so it's going to be hard to see him not finding a role. Slovenian big man Alexander Potočnik will be the final player we go over today. 6'11", 260. He's built like an old-school big man, and I think 20 years ago he goes into top 5. I really like what he provides, though, defensively, and I think that's how he will still be valuable in today's modern NBA. He doesn't have the athleticism that Damari Radcliffe has, which is why I think Radcliffe is going to go before him, but he's a good interior scorer, good rebounder, and he's a disruptive defensive player, although he needs to improve his consistency as a rim protector. So those are some of the lottery talents at this year's draft class. Let's take a look at the mock drafts to see where everything holds up and who we could be targeting with our top pick, which, again, very well could be in the lottery if one of us or the Heat don't make the playoffs. Every mock draft has Sidi Gafare going number 1, and every mock draft seems to have all hell breaking loose after that. All the mock drafts have us getting UCLA big man Emmanuel Azuna, a player we did not talk about today, but we'll go over him in the next prospect profile. 7'1", 240. Reminds me quite a bit of Chance Corradino, the center out of Pitt, who ended up being the second overall pick last year. Overall, really fun group of players. Let me know what you thought of them down below in the comments as we bring our attention back to the Trailblazers. And where we left off was the fact that this team is so banged up. Obviously, Ochai Agbaji's been injured since like the first week of the year. Scoot Henderson's been nursing a shoulder injury. And against OKC, we had both Darius Springer and Zay Logan suffer minor injuries. All 4 of these players will be out for our next game against the Rockets, which basically means we're going to run the B team out onto the floor against Houston. It might not be pretty, and we're going to hope to have some of our guys come back before the Jazz game, which is the matchup that we are going to play in today's episode. So we're going to simulate through 3 games, 1 against the Rockets without our team, basically, and then 2 more against the Clippers and the Suns. This is the lineup we're going to be rolling with against Houston. We will be heavily relying on Sharp, Griffin, Porzingis, and Simons. Those are the only guys who I really trust to be able to score the ball, so we're going to need those guys to play well. Ultimately, during our stretch of simulated games, we, unsurprisingly, lost the Rockets game. We only lost by 14, though. I'll take it. Could have been a lot worse against a team like Houston. We held in there. 34 for Sharp, 20 for Griffin. Fritz Bengara wasn't too good, though, in his first NBA start. He's been really efficient this year, so I'll give him a break. But, yeah, not ideal. Let's simulate through these next 2 games now against the Clippers and the Suns, looking to stay over 500. Before that, though, let's check in on the new look rotation with Scoot, Springer, and Logan back. We're going to have Scoot play through his shoulder injury. He's pretty much fully healthy, so I don't see much of a risk with it. We would split these 2 games, including a win here against the Suns. Scoot Henderson is fully back, 29 points. Darius Springer had quite the stat line, 11, 8, 6, and 5 with 6 turnovers and piss-poor shooting. That is one of the most random stat lines I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's take a look at the Utah Jazz now, who are basically in the same spot that we are. We're 14-13, they're 14-14. The Jazz have been in the middle for a little while in the Western Conference, so they decided to make a big move, signing Jaren Jackson in the offseason, who's honestly been a little bit disappointing. But the young talent on this team continues to produce. Cassius Maxey, of course, we almost drafted a few years ago, ultimately opting for Darius Springer. Maxey started this season off really slow and injured, so he's looking to get his efficiencies up, and overall he's been pretty solid, although I do feel like we made the right choice picking Springer. Zay Logan is officially healthy, and the Warriors offer as a trade here for Khalil Griffin. Hell no. So let's hop into this game here in Portland. The 14-13 Trailblazers look to stay over 500, while the 14-14 Utah Jazz look to make it above 500. Porzingis and Mikhail Yakovlev meet for the tip as it goes to the Blazers rocking the alternate reds. And we are underway here in the Pacific Northwest. Springer gets it over to Scoot Henderson, guarded by former top 10 pick Tyson Ledbetter. Back to Scoot in the corner for Shaedon Sharpe, who drills the three in front of Jet Howard to get the scoring started for Portland. Here's Yakovlev inside with a monster throwdown on Porzingis. No foul, interestingly. As I look at the replay, though, if there were to be a foul, I think it'd be a defensive foul. Porzingis didn't have his feet set, so he might have dodged a bullet. There's Ledbetter for three. High draft pick of the Magic back in Season 1. Didn't really work out there, but he's really turned into a good player here in Utah. Springer open in the corner, drills the three. Again, we're looking to get Springer aggressive as a scorer. We want him shooting the ball more than he is. Lob from Ledbetter up to Cassius Maxey. The 11th overall pick out of UCLA in 2024, of course, one spot after Springer. Speaking of Springer, with a slam of his own, he's got 5 here in the early going for Portland. Maxey's trapped. He's a great passer, over 6 assists a game, as he finds Jaren Jackson Jr. in the corner, the longtime Memphis Grizzly for 3. Porzingis is intercepted by Maxey. The Jazz lead by 4, looking to add to their lead. Here's Yakovlev inside for Jackson, and he gets the and one. Jaren Jackson Jr. gets the layup, draws the foul. Now 15-10. Here's Yakovlev. Spin move inside, no good. Grabs his own rebound and gets the putback. When Yakovlev was a prospect a couple years ago, athleticism was a weakness. But, man, he looks awfully athletic today. Springer with the steal. In transition. Looking at taking himself to the cup. He had a few guys he could have sent it to, but Springer wanted to take it himself. He's got 7. 17-12 now. Ledbetter. Another lob for Maxey. Dunk is no good. Again in transition. Springer for Sharpe with the slam. Sharpe's now got 5. Him and Springer have 12 of Portland's 14 points. Yakovlev gets it to Tyson Ledbetter. The South Carolina Gamecock hits the top of the key 3. 20-16 now. Sharpe with it. Deep triple. On the way. It's good. Shaedon Sharpe in the double figures here in the first quarter. He's got 10. 22-23. Maxey. Pump fake. Has somebody open on the wing. It's Jet Howard for 3. Another former Magic lottery pick who, again, didn't really work out in Orlando, but has been a great player in Utah. Armani Robinson comes into the game, scoring in contact over Keegan Murray. Nice play by Robinson, the second-round rookie out of the Ohio State. Ledbetter inside for Amadou Mwangi, who makes the layup. Mwangi drafted in Season 1 by the Thunder. The Jazz are taking all of the rejected drafted players and are turning them into good players. Credit to their development team. Spencer Dinwiddie hits the 3, 32-29. Dinwiddie has an open man. It's Jeremy Sohan, who rips another triple. The Jazz shooting the 3 ball well, 35-29. Simons can't get anyone open, so he's going to have to take the shot himself. At the buzzer! And Inferno looking to light this place up. 35-32 through 1. High-scoring game so far. The Jazz lead it as we go into the second. Griffin, off balance, 3 is good. He was wide open. I don't know why he needed all the other fancy movements, but hey, the shot falls. 35-39. Portland up by 4. Ledbetter inside with a nice finger roll over Springer. We're tied at 39. Ledbetter really impressing me early on as a scorer. Here's Griffin off the screen, knocks down another three. This time off the assist by Malachi Suleiman. 42-41, Portland leads by one. Here's Scoot Henderson, contested jumper is good. Scoot still nursing the shoulder injury, rocking a sleeve to help protect it. As Griffin flies into the lane with the throwdown. Look at Griffin showing off the athleticism as he is going up on a poster. Off the inbound, Sharp, good cut to the paint, no good. Grabs his own rebound though, and he gets the putback. Shaedon Sharp doing the dirty work. He's got 16 with 3 to go here in the second. Porzingis inside. Nice layup in transition. Quiet start scoring-wise for him. He really hasn't had that great of a month scoring the ball, so hopefully he can look to pick it up. Open three. That's Jet Howard who drills it for the Jazz as it's now 54-50. Dinwiddie over to Maxey. He's got it in the corner for Yakovlev. Back to Maxey! Good cut off the ball by Maxey. His on-ball, off-ball versatility on offense is really impressive. One of the big reasons why we almost drafted him. Griffin snuffed inside by Jaren Jackson. Off the inbound, Griffin would be snuffed again by Jackson, and the Jazz get it back. Maxey no good. Griffin with the rebound, looking to make up for getting blocked twice as he sends a dime for Zay Logan with the dunk. Griffin looking a little Mahomey with that pass. 52-56, under a minute left in the first half. Maxey with a prayer, no good, but Mikhail Yakovlev, Russia's finest, with the slam. 54-56, here's Simons with it. Step back, three ball is good. Portland is shooting the lights out of the long ball today as it's 54-59. Sohan doubled, looks to get it for Jackson. He's doubled, out to Maxey. Looking to drive inside. He's guarded by Simons. Back to Jackson. Three ball on the left wing. Will fall. 57-59 now. Portland looking for the last shot. Here's Griffin with it. Inside. Griffin with the slam. I guess Portland doesn't want the last shot. Khalil Griffin had an open lane and he capitalizes. Yakovlev. Floater. No good. Griffin with the rebound. His pass is poked and stolen away. And nearly results in a big three for Utah. That would have been an incredible play by Howard, and that'll wrap up the first half. 61-57, Trailblazers lead. Been a really competitive game so far. The biggest this lead has been is 7. I mean, it has been back and forth for the most part. This game has been either a 2-possession game or closer for the entire game, minus probably about 30 seconds. Hopefully that'll stay that way in the second half, or hopefully the Blazers run away with it. That'd be fine too. Sharp is intercepted by Maxey on the other end. Ledbetter inside for Jet Howard, who makes the layup. Good ball movement there by the Jazz. They would take the lead after a couple of free throws. Howard inside. Layup is no good. The Jazz are on a 6-0 run to start the third. That missed layup could lead to some momentum for Portland as they capitalize in transition with the three by Porzingis. Jaren Jackson gets the mismatch with Scoot, and he's going to take him to the woodshed. 65-64. Scoot quickly out to Porzingis. Step back. Heaves up a prayer. And it's answered. What a shot by Porzingis. Back-to-back threes. Ledbetter off the screen. Jumper is good. Look at the score. 69-69. Nice. Unfortunately, the Jazz had to ruin it. They're now up by 2. Here is Shaedon Sharp looking to get some room. Sharp off the screen on the move. Mid-ranger will fall. Good jumper by Sharp. Good screen by Armani Robinson. 71-71 now. Ledbetter inside for Yakovlev. And the layup is no good, but he gets the rebound and the putback over Wisham. I think Ledbetter and Yakovlev have been the two best players for the Jazz today. They've really impressed me. Wisham to Sharp for 3. Open shot is good. Portland still shooting the 3 ball at such a high level today as they lead by a point. Ledbetter with it inside. Ledbetter in contact. It's good for Tyson Ledbetter. 75-74. Maxey with it. Guarded by Logan. Looks to get some room. Drives left side. Beautiful bounce pass for Mikhail Yakovlev, who throws it down again. 77-75. Here's Howard with it. Looking to get open. Ledbetter off the screen for 3. It's good. And Utah is up by 5. 21 for Tyson Ledbetter. That leads all players. Springer looks to respond, and he does. Dunking over Cassius Maxey. Portland made the right choice. drafting Springer over Maxey, and he's looking to prove it there. 80-77. Ledbetter inside over the extended arm of Wisham, and he makes the floater now with 23 points. Here's Suleiman with it. Guarded by Ledbetter. A couple of small guards battling it out as Suleiman dimes it inside for Ashton Wisham off the pick and roll. 82-81. Sohan on the wing. It's the veteran. Spencer Dinwiddie no good, but Amadou Mwangi is there with the rebound and the putback. 84-81. Dinwiddie brings it up for the Jazz in transition. Open three. Cassius Maxey. It's good. And the Jazz doubled their lead. They're up by 6. Really strong third quarter for Utah. Portland's offense is ice cold. Nice dunk by Springer. But really ever since the crazy Porzingis step back 3, it's been tough sledding. Springer heaves up a prayer. What in God's name was he thinking? Part of the reason why the offense has really struggled over these last 5 or 6 minutes is the shot selection, as the full court heave is no good. 87-83 Jazz lead going into the fourth. Offense has got to pick it up. Our offense was unstoppable for 2.5 quarters. Now we're missing open shots. Simons misses the 3. Scoot Henderson, by the way, 1 for 9 from the field as Sohan hits the jumper in transition. Utah up by 6. 89-83. Here's Khalil Griffin with the drive. Griffin with the poster! Another big-time slam for Khalil Griffin. This time his victim is Mwangi. 89-85. Simons out to Griffin. Thinks about the deep 3, won't take it. Back to Simons. Sidestep, top of the key. Bang! Anthony Simons drills the triple. 91-88. Dinwiddie inside. No good. Nice defense by Griffin. Ball poked in the air. Rebounded by Keegan Murray. Back out to Dinwiddie. Jumper is good. Nice job by Keegan to keep the play alive. And good second chance basket by Dinwiddie. 93-88. Here's Scoot Henderson with it. Lobs it up for Khalil Griffin. What a play there by the Portland offense. Griffin has 4 or 5 highlight dunks today. He's been impressive. 93-91. Springer heaves it up and it's good. No foul. Somehow. That should have been an and 1, but hey, it's a tie nonetheless. Portland's in takeover mode. Mwangi makes the layup. The Jazz are now in takeover mode. Everybody on the floor is in takeover mode. We should get some high-level basketball over these next couple of minutes. Tyson Ledbetter certainly thinks so. He hits the 3. 98-93. Sharp has it poked away and stolen. Keegan Murray ends up with it. That was Ledbetter who initially got a hand on it. Ledbetter looks to drive by Sharp. Lobs it up for Mwangi, and it somehow goes. The Jazz up by 7. The biggest this deficit has been since the first quarter. Portland's got to score. Simons passes it to Simons. Out to Sharp. Sharp off the screen from Porzingis. Big basket, and a lucky one as Anthony Simons nearly turned it over. Lead is back to 7 with under 4 minutes to go. Ledbetter inside with the finish. 9 points, the biggest the deficit has been all night. Portland calls time. They've got to figure it out. 104-95. Screen from Porzingis. Simons with the drive. Simons with the slam. You may notice Anthony Simons is running the point, not Scoot Henderson. With Scoot's shoulder injury, he's been a liability today. He cannot play in this game because he's been that bad. Yakovlev misses. Good defense by Springer. Sharp. 3 is good. The defensive stop leading to the 3 ends up being a 5-point swing in favor of the Blazers. Ledbetter, no good. Simons with the stop. Springer with the rebound. Out to Griffin to bring it to 1. No good. Would have been another 5-point swing, but unfortunately it doesn't fall. In transition, here's Howard. Has a wide open man. The big fella, Mikhail Yakovlev. 106-100. Springer with 17, 7, and 7. Doubled. Out to Porzingis. Long 2. Good shot. Lead is down to 4 with 2:20 to go. Here's Ledbetter with it, looking for the screen. Gets it over to the big fella, Yakovlev. Back to Ledbetter. Hoping somebody gets open, or hey, that works too. A lob for Yakovlev. I did not know this guy had 360 dunks in his arsenal, but he does. Sharp, no good. Griffin with the rebound. Big offensive board for the Blazers. Simons heaves it up, and it's good. Big credit to Griffin for getting the rebound and the assist. And a nice shot by Simons. Shot inside is no good for Portland. Good defense, good rebound from Porzingis. Griffin to Springer. Layup no good. Springer with the rebound. Puts it back in himself. Great job by Darius Springer. and the lead is down to 2. Strong comeback these past couple of minutes by Portland. Around a minute to go. Why is Yakovlev the guy bringing the ball up? Okay, I guess that's why. I had no idea Yakovlev had these guard-like abilities as an athlete and as a ball handler, but the more you know. After a couple of free throws from Portland, Yakovlev misses this time. Portland can tie or take the lead. Griffin wants to do it himself. Layup is no good. Rebounded by Jackson. Portland should have reset the possession in hindsight. Griffin saw the open lane, wanted to take advantage, and unfortunately it doesn't happen. Why is Yakovlev the guy looking to take the inbound in? Porzingis is covering Ledbetter, so they pass it into Yakovlev, who gets fouled. I get that we've learned that Yakovlev is apparently a really good athlete. He's a really good dribbler, but he is not a good three-throw shooter. 57% at the line. It'd be awfully fitting if he made both. And he goes 1 for 2. Springer with the rebound. Portland calls time. Shot clock unplugged. 22.3 seconds left. It's a 3-point game, and we've got options on offense. We can go for a quick 2, we can go for a quick 3, or we can hold. Got to crash the glass, have as many guys near the boards as possible, but also try to give our perimeter scorers space. So what's the plan going to be for Portland? Do they go for a quick shot, or are they going to hold? Simons with it for the Blazers, their big shot maker. Drives inside, Ledbetter gives him no room, out to Sharp. No room. Simons, back to Sharp. Portland was hoping for a quick 2. They don't get it, so now they're going to hold for the 3. Around 5 to go. Screen from Springer. It's Sharp for the tie. Good release. Won't fall. Jackson with the rebound, and they can't foul in time. That'll do it. The Jazz survive here in Portland as they win at 111-108, and the Blazers fall to a record of 14-14. The Jazz no longer 14-14 as they had a close come-from-behind win here against the Trailblazers. And I think the big reason why we lost this game is that the offense was a train wreck in the second half. We were shooting the ball so well from 3 early on in this game. I think we started 10 for 14 from 3, and then we were 2 for 14 from deep the rest of the way. Shaedon Sharp with 26, and he was pretty efficient while doing so. 11 of 17 from the field. You'll take that any day of the week. Springer, 19, 9, and 8. Pretty solid. Simons was good. Griffin was inefficient, but he was doing everything out there. 16, 8, and 6. Porzingis was a little quiet. Nobody else really stood out. Scoot Henderson, though, was not good. Clearly, the shoulder injury is bothering him more than what was originally let on. But the odd part about that is he just dropped 29 the other day. In the 3 games since the injury, he's had 1 really good performance and 2 really bad ones. So I don't really know what to make of this. But I think we're going to shut him down until he's healthy, which won't be long. It's only going to be another game or 2, but clearly he's not all the way healthy. As for the Jazz, Tyson Ledbetter leads all scorers with 28 points, also had 7 assists. 21 and 11 for Mikhail Yakovlev. Jackson was solid, really good defensively. Maxey was pretty good. Howard and Mwangi in the double figures as well. Strong win for Utah. They're a really fun team, and they've got some fun young players who didn't even play in this game. Guys like Taylor Hendricks, Cyrus Warwick. If they can get that star, look out. They're going to be good. So anyway, with Scoot, we're going to have him sit until he's fully healthy, which again shouldn't be that long. We're going to simulate up to the new year. 5 games upcoming, including Christmas against Oklahoma City, as Anthony Simons suffers a severe left ankle sprain against the Sixers. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. Not ideal. In that same game, Shaedon Sharp hyperextended his left knee. Not a long-term thing, but he will not play on Christmas. 3 of our key scorers will be out for Christmas Day. Luckily, Scoot is 100% healthy, so he will be in the lineup. Sharp, luckily, should only miss a couple of games before he's back. As the Cavaliers offer us this trade, they are willing to give us Joshua Primo. FBI, open up! For Malachi Suleiman, who's coming off his first career double-double. So, no, I'm good. During the stretch of simulated games, we ended up going 3-2 with a lot of inconsistencies. We scored 129. Then without Simons and Sharp, we scored 94. Then we score 133. And Sharp didn't even play that game against the Knicks. So, I don't know. Khalil Griffin and Malachi Suleiman are the only guys who have now played every game for us. And of our core 7, Griffin's the only one who hasn't gotten injured this year. Give him a lot of credit. He's been durable, and he's playing really well, especially having to step up due to injury. He's only had 1 game this year scoring in the double figures. I feel like he deserves a reward for his strong play. his reward will be that I'm considering benching him. And it's not performance-based, but it's more so that we don't have a bench scorer. With Anthony Simons out, him and Abaji are both going to be out probably until the end of July, and I want somebody to be able to run the second unit. I don't know if I'm going to bench Griffin, but it's just an idea. Zay Logan would replace him in the starting lineup. Griffin wouldn't lose any minutes. He would still play a lot. He'd still close, but I don't hate the idea of staggering our best players' minutes. That way we can always have one or two guys who we really trust on the floor at all times. So that's going to wrap up the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.